Mushoku Tensei just dropped the first 2 episodes of season 3 and I loved it. I love what they're doing with Eris. I like that we're completely staying away from the main character Rudeus for a little bit and put the focus on Eris instead. I love when the show does this, like completely staying away from the main character for like a couple episodes, and I mean completely. Now I know some of you guys gonna be like, what bro, we saw Rudeus both in first episode and second episode a little bit. No, that doesn't count, like you get what I mean. But anyway, love these episodes, and I'm gonna talk specifically about why this is a good thing and why I think anime or a show in general needs to do this more often, completely stripping away some of the main characters' screen time. And at the end of the video, I'll give you examples of anime, some of my personal favorites that do this a lot. One of them is an isekai as well. Some of it are very extreme though. Like we won't see our main character at all for like 3 to 4 episodes. And they do it quite often. I'll recommend you some, and then maybe you'll get interested to check it out for yourself after watching this video. Let's get right into it. Now, as a person who loves character-driven shows myself, I really appreciate it when they give the side characters their own mini-arc. It also gives the story a chance to breathe, like slowing the pace a little bit, in a good way. Not every episode needs to push the main plot forward, and especially as someone who loves slower paced anime, this is fantastic. Sometimes slowing things down a little is exactly what the story needs. You get to explore different parts of the world, meet new characters, or just spend times with people who usually don't get the spotlight. That's what they're doing with Eris, giving her the spotlight and letting her carry the story for a little bit. Now you might argue, why not just do it with the main character on the screen anyway? No, because it's just not the same. There's only so much you can do with the main character on the screen. A big reason is that the main character naturally becomes the center of gravity. Usually, once they're in a scene, the audience automatically start paying attention to them. Even if the scene is technically about a side character, you're subconsciously waiting to see what the protagonist says, what Rudy is gonna do, or how he will solve the situation. And honestly, I think this is just way more interesting than constantly following one person for 24 episodes straight, to keep things fresh, you know? So, every once in a while, it's good to stay away from the main character a little bit. And another thing is, it just makes me care about these characters way more. If a side character only pops up every now and then to help the main character, I'm probably gonna like them, sure. And I'm not saying that a character needs to have their own arc in order to make me care about them, but I'm never gonna get attached to them the same way. When the story actually spends time with them, let us see what they're struggling with, what they're working towards, what they're thinking when the main character is not around. They stop feeling like the side character and start feeling like an actual person. So when something good finally happens to them, I'm happy for them. And if something bad happens later on, it hits way harder because I've actually spent time with them. That's why these episodes are so important. And I think Mushoku Tensei are doing this quite a bit. They did it with Roxy, they also did it with Sylvie, and I hope that they will dedicate an episode on Nanahoshi stuff with the Orsted, you know, that I would love that. And that is exactly why I love it whenever a show has the confidence to step away from its main character. Unfortunately though, not that many anime actually do this. Most of the time, they are way too afraid to leave the protagonist alone for even a single episode. Everything has to revolve around them. And while that's not necessarily a bad thing, I feel like they're missing out on so much potential in my opinion. But there are a couple of series that absolutely nailed this. In fact, 2 of my favorite anime do this all the time. And I think they're some of the best examples of what I've been talking about. The first one is Durarara. If you've watched it, you probably already know where I'm going with this. This anime will straight up disappear from one character for multiple episodes and just follow somebody else entirely. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I love it so much. Every character feels important because the story actually treats them like they're important. Every character will have their own dedicated episode, their introduction, characterization. We will learn about their motivation and their own little plot line. And this anime will have one big plot line or like overarching arc, and we get to see it from different perspective. And when the plot finally brings them together, it's one of the coolest thing ever, man. You guys should give it a try. If you like slower paced anime, I think this one might be for you. The narrative structure and storytelling for this anime, it's so unique and it's just really good. And the second one is another isekai anime, Overlord. And this one might surprise some people. Ainz is obviously the main character, but this show constantly spends time away from him. Not in the first season though. It happens in the later season because, first season we gotta spend time with the main character first, right? But later on, it will dedicate entire episodes to random adventures, kingdoms, soldier, or even character you've never met before. At first you're thinking like, wait, why are we following these people? But then later on, when we finally collide with their story, it will make sense eventually. Everything hits so much harder because you know who these people are. They're not just random NPCs. The world just feels so alive, filled with actual people that we care about. It's one of the most immersive anime out there. I think Overlord is one of the best overpowered, done right type of story. And that is exactly the kind of storytelling I wish more anime would do, man. And yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think about the first 2 episodes of Mushoku Tensei, guys. And if you guys have some recommendation of an anime that does this type of storytelling, let me know in the comment. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.